everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of May Google Be With You. We are almost to the end of our week, and I'm really excited about today's episode because it is very focused on Google for littles. Now, I will point out that this episode isn't necessarily about teaching only early learning teachers how to use the Google tools. To be honest, hopefully you've been following all the way along. This episode is to point out the resources that are available to you in an early learning environment if you didn't want to create quite yet. So all of the previous episodes of being able to use Google Classroom, being able to use Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, all those things still apply. But now I want to show you what that can look like in an early learning environment, and the two amazing Google ladies, both Alice Keeler and Christine Pinto, who have created multiple templates for you to be able to use. In addition, there's a fantastic book that they wrote called Google Apps for Littles. And so I'm going to have a link posted below where you can get your own copy of that book from Amazon. We also have a Google Drive available to all of Edmonton Catholic schools and our guests who have joined us that are full of templates that have been created by myself, my bestie Darren Malte from Black Gold, the amazing Eric Kurtz, Alice Keeler, Christine Pinto, other members of the MPEC Tech team, and even teachers in Edmonton Catholic schools. So after today, if you're watching this and going, wait, I've got a great activity, I have a great template, please share it with me. Of course, I'm going to give you a shout out. We all know I love to give away prizes, and it would just be awesome to add to that great crowdsource availability of being able to have Google templates that are specifically for early learners. Now, I'll throw a little kind of red flag to early learners, because even though a lot of these activities apply to the 100 Voices to Grade 3 curriculum, we do know that we have a lot of emergent learners in our classrooms. So whether those are students who are struggling with grade level activities and they need something a little bit lower, perhaps you have English language learner students, whatever the reason is. Or you might just find a great template and say, hey, maybe this was made for early learning, but I could completely modify it and ramp it up for a higher grade level, no problem. And you can do that. So we're going to get started by taking you to where everybody should start when it comes to being able to use Google with early learners. The first place that we want our kids to always start is Google Classroom. This is mission control. To have our early learners go out to all of these individual apps and try to put it together and how do they give it to you, is we want to be able to have our students first know how to sign in. Now I know what every early learning teacher is thinking. They're thinking this. Do you know how long it takes to get 27 kids all logged on? My kids can't do that. Well, I'll tell you this. When kids come into kindergarten, they can't tie their shoes, they can't zip their coats, they can't read books. But we don't take away their shoes, we don't take away their coats, we don't take away their books. And we don't only give them books on block 2 on Friday during book time. They would never learn to read. It would take them all 10 months to learn to read if that's the only time we gave them print because they can't. The same is going to apply to technology. This is honestly about repetitive exposure. So if they're logging in every day, even if it's just to be able to watch a literacy video, a movement break, just to be able to voice type in a doc and talk about their day as a little journal ongoing every day, whatever that is, every time you log in, is that repetitive exposure to make it easier for your students. So don't let that stop you from being able to use these things. Kids, we also get to hear, digital natives. Kids are actually digital consumers. They're like zombies. It's like tech. And we do have parents that are quite concerned of, well, my little one already has a lot of screen time. Do I really want them to go to school and have more? What I want you to think of this is balance. Do I think you should have Google all the day, all the time with your early learners? No, not necessarily. You don't even have to have one-to-one devices. Perhaps this is just a center. One chance for them in a day to be able to practice literacy, numeracy, art, science, being able to do journals, being able to graph, being able to take pictures of different manipulatives that they've done, and perhaps they're just doing it collaboratively and shared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some examples and I'm going to show you some amazing resources, and my goal for you today is to just take one. Try one thing before the end of the year with your early learners just to see how easy it is. So the first thing I want to show you is making sure that you are getting your little ones into a Google Classroom. That's those first few steps for those first few times they come in here. Log onto the device, whether that's an iPad or a Chromebook, go to Google Classroom. Log on, go to Google Classroom. Every single time they get used to that, they start to notice how easy it is. And Google Classroom does have some visual prompts. Even though some of it is print-based, they'll start to get used to where that button is. Maybe the first few times you go in, it's because it's on the smartboard and you're doing this activity collaboratively. When the students go in, they can see the classwork tab, and they'll even be able to, you can organize things according to centers, you could organize things according to month, however you want to do that. Just remember to go back to our Google Classroom episode for a little bit more instruction of how to set this up. What's really great is now the teachers can hand things out to the little ones if I wanted to be able to give a template. This is a template, a Google Slides template for reading recordings. When the students go to the reading recordings and they view that assignment, they're going to see that every day they can create a reading recording simply by screencasting themselves. They get to take a picture of a book and put in their video, and they can do that every day, and now a teacher has an ongoing running record of that reading recording. Another example I have in here is some art. We've got some pixel art using conditional formatting. When the student goes in, they can simply come in and they can see the numbers 1 through 10. And now they can come over here and start typing those numbers and just being able to have it change color and create their little art and be able to make something amazing, whether they're recording maybe something they saw outside, making a cool Father's Day card, whatever that is. We can also see that we're going to use some math. In here, I've created gumball graphs. This is a template I made that combines the power of Google Sheets as well as Google Drawings, because we know in Google Sheets, we can insert a drawing from our Google Drawings episode. So when students come in here, they'd be able to double click on the gumballs, and now they can start to drag over the gumballs into the jar. And of course, they can save and close this drawing. Now what the students can do is they can start to graph their gumballs. If they put any mark inside that box, it's going to change it to the color, not even just how many they have. Here you can see I'm just putting in some X's. And now we can start to see how we're doing some basic graphing with our students and looking at that visual representation of number. Now, of course, I can go ahead and I can type in here, or I can even pull down. Most of the gumballs are. We can start to have them type the word, or we can let them pick the word. Total of my gumballs, they can type that number, the smallest amount is, and so we're just really looking at that understanding of mathematical concepts, even at a very young age. Now, I want to tell you about a really amazing educator. Her name is Pinto, and she has an entire blog that's set up showing how she used each one of these tools in her kindergarten classroom. So these are real life students being able to do these activities. So I've included the link to her templates and her blog post below for you so you can start to see what she's done. She's also offered a copy of all of these templates for us to be able to use completely for free. So on Christine Pinto's site, we can see that she has a lot of different information, but she has templates. You can see of what the description was that you wanted the students to be able to do. You can also click on it to make a copy. It will prompt you to make a copy so that it's saved for you in your Google Drive. And then as well, she has the blog post that goes with it. And what's nice about the blog post is it basically takes you through the activity step by step of how she did this in her kindergarten class. Now you can use the activity exactly like she's done it, or of course, if you've been following along with May Google Be With You, you could modify any of these templates to your own liking, or as well as you can make your own for your own activities. So here you can see how we're using those traditional physical manipulatives that are so important for our early learners. But now the students are using digital tools to be able to graph the bears. So here you can see how students again could come in and be able to leave those marks and start graphing those bears to match and analyze that data that they saw in the classroom. We can see other templates like which has more, make two groups. Well, we've got some Flappy Birds going on for our students. If you refer back to our Google Slides and Google Drawing episodes, you can see how easy it is to make manipulatives that sit on the side of your white space on each one of these templates. And now students are able to go through and they're able to drag, they're able to analyze, they're able to talk about their learning. They can even screencast themselves having done this. In this template, we have students going on a scavenger hunt, taking their devices and using the camera to take a picture of everyday objects that match that shape. Students learn very quickly how to insert a picture and just use that camera, whether that's a Chromebook or an iPad. We can even use this for social studies. This is a template for students to be able to build their own community using popular symbols that kids love. There's Minecraft people, McDonald's, schools, houses, you name it. And of course, they can even put in their own images that they wanted. They find an image that they want to be able to take, like maybe we're going to put a McDonald's or where's our school. Students learn how to copy the image and simply paste it into the square where they want it to go. Now they can start to build these different blocks and build this visual community. Now just remember, we don't always have to have a template provided for our students. These are really nice and fun ways for us to get started. But the other reason we really want to use Google Classroom is because this is where we want our students to be able to create their own docs, sheets, slides, drawings, anything. And so I can simply make a post and allow students to know to log on the machine, go to Google Classroom, click on the assignment, and now they can start to use the Create button because nothing else is there for them. Alice Keeler had a really fantastic blog post showing us visually what this looks like, and I'm going to show you in a classroom I'm in with Dane. So this is Alice Keeler's post where she talks about, you know what, this is just an assignment where it says just write your name. We're just going to work on some basic writing. And I love this activity because we're just using maybe a Google Doc or Google Slides, but now we can also show our students the power of voice typing. We can have unrestricted access to being able to have print on a page despite our students not having that printing ability yet because they're full of ideas. So whether this is to tell a story, to do a journal, whatever, we can have our students do this. So students know to come into the classroom and click open, and then they'll be able to click create. So if I'm in Dane's classroom, I'm in here as a student. This was an alternative ending classroom that I was in, but let's just imagine that this was a, you know what, just go in here and write your name or tell me about your day or anything like that. When the students come in, they say create and doc, it's going to make for them that item already saved in the classroom. They don't have to worry about where it's organized. It already puts their name on it. And now we can just use it. And what's great about this for our little early learners is that the assistive technology that helps our students who are struggling is amazing educational technology that can just help students that are just beginning to learn to use print. So in here, I could start to type my name and do some of those keyboarding skills and letter identification. But students can very quickly learn how to use voice typing. I really love learning how to use the Google tools because it shows teachers how easy this can be. And yes, logging on is the hardest part, period. We can see how easy this is for students to be able to have some typing. But what's fantastic is I really love students being able to use, again, that image button and being able to take a picture. Tell me about what you learned in math today and take a picture. Tell me what you learned on our field trip and take a picture. This is such a fantastic way for to capture their learning. And now because you did it inside of Google Classroom, you actually have access to everybody's work all at the same time. So if I was going to go to my reading recordings and see how many students I assigned this to, what's fantastic is I can already see the students who have opened it up and began using it the minute they opened it. Now I have evidence of their learning that I can share with parents that I didn't have to try to download off of iPads or get emailed to me. I can simply take this and show it. Now the other thing we've attached for you is our actual Google Drive where we have even more templates, ones that were created by me and many amazing people, and that's just below this video as well. As soon as you find a template you want, you click on it, and what you're going to say is File, Make a Copy. That super cool blue button that says View Only, and you click it and then you request edit access, I'm not going to do that. I love you all, but I'm not going to let you edit my originals. What you simply do is open it and say File, Make a Copy. Now you have that for you in your Google Drive to modify and change, or to simply take and use and assign in your own Google Classroom. And there's many, many templates in here for you. So this is what the drive will look like when you click into it, and you can see we have things from feelings, eye-bombing, telling stories, tanagrams and math, ABC books and projects. There's so many different things that our little ones can do in order to showcase their learning. So that's how easy it is to get started with your little ones. Now, if you want any extra support or you're thinking, wow, maybe I do want to learn a little bit more about Google Classroom, just go back to one of our previous episodes or email me and I can come out and support you. But just know that it will take a little bit of time, but it is very worth it to start off with Google, even with our very early learners. Now, I know I've been drawing for prizes every day this week in order to give away guaranteed spots for our August Google Summit. Because I'm actually recording this video for today, today, I'm losing track of time. I'm actually going to record a separate prize draw tomorrow because I want people to be able to enter to win for today's video. So you'll see a separate prize video, but for everybody watching now, tomorrow is going to be the very last day of May Google Be With You. So enter your name if you want to win that guaranteed spot. I'm probably going to be giving away a lot of spots tomorrow. So make sure that you enter your name and tell us what you love about May Google Be With You or your favorite Google tools. And hopefully we see you for our last episode and at our August Google Summit. Bye everybody.